Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all of my wonderful and beautiful little lovelies out there. And how I love you all so, and I hope that you're all super duper well, super duper wonderful, and super duper delish, and that life is treating you most deliciously. I hope that we're feeling the love. We continue to feel the love, my little honey bunnies. Now then, what's the time, Mr. Wolf? So the time is, at the moment, it is. Someone's calling me. Oh, I don't know. These bloody London numbers keep calling me my delicious babies. They're trying to flipping flog you something. Anyway, my delicious babies, let's get back to the matter in hand. Yes, the time is now 10 past 10 a.m. on the 23rd of July 2026. My delicious babies, it is rather warm today outside. Um, it has been trying to sunshine, but the weather still is most delicious. Okay, and I hope that wherever you are in the world, my little beautifuls, that life is treating you most deliciously. Now then, and that you too are having beautiful weather as what we're having. Okay. Now then, my delicious babies. So I did a little video yesterday evening. I never shared my birth rate. Sometimes I do not. I could have done, but I just didn't. I'm going to begin by saying this to do with Anne Whitcomb is looking more like a shirt. Now, you do have some on the internet, my delicious babies, who are there we are, they're questioning this same as myself. Okay, so at the end of the day, my delicious babies, do I believe in all of this now? I'm telling you in my camera, my delicious babies, I do not believe it. And not only that, what did they mention? They mentioned about the cameras as well. Yeah, they brought the cameras into it, didn't they, my delicious babies? Yes. Okay. Now, this is I shouldn't even have to say this. This is not myself being a heartless bitch. It's just that at the end of the day, you have to look at it age 78. Okay, so that's 15. Okay, so you break it down, can come to 6. Okay, my delicious babies. You also have to look at the date and the time, which I cannot remember now. The date, you know, when this supposedly, yeah, stumbling rightfully so, not changing my video, when this took place. Okay, you're talking about a very quiet area. Okay, my delicious babies, they did the exact same thing. I cannot remember now. And this was to do with a man who supposedly or whatever was selling drugs or something. Anyway, and that was a really quiet place as well. So I'm just repeating what I said yesterday evening, my delicious babies, except for the difference is I'm saying it in my camera. Now, we have to also take a look at the man involved here. I mean, he doesn't exactly look like somebody who I feel. I mean, what does anybody look like, my delicious babies? But he doesn't exactly look like somebody who, especially with what he was doing, how many miles that he had to go to get to Anne Whitcomb's home. Okay, my delicious, there's too many, there we are, there's too many flaws, there we are in this. Okay, so for some, they're taking it very seriously, the alternative media, but for others, they are severely questioning. And I see that, there we are, has been a very positive thing to do. Let's remember the 7-7. What happened, my delicious babies? Now, of course, you know, there is talk there that that was, let's just say, all is not what it seems, my delicious babies. Do you see what I mean? Okay, this is what they do. So, sorry, excuse me. Could it be, my delicious babies, that well, has Anne gone out of the public life? She could have done, or she could have passed away naturally. We do not know, my delicious babies. We're just told what we're told, and we are supposed to believe every single thing now. Remember to wear my delicious babies. What we are being told. Oh, somebody else told me the other day as well. My delicious babies to do with the old Facebook or Meta, whatever it's bloody damn well called. Um, they made a comment like like a sincere, was it a sincere comment to do with Anne Whitaker, because they were clearly concerned, as are a lot in the country in our old England, marginalistic babies, and what was it? Somebody reported his post, not in that way, not in that way. Somebody reported his post. I mean, can you see the madness? What's going on here, marginalistic babies? Okay, it's like unless you believe what is being put in front of us, then well, basically, marginalistic babies, you'll get the book thrown at you. But like I just said, with your man, you all right, mate? I think she's got the fur ball. Sorry, excuse me, my delicious babies. Well, the fact of the matter is, I mean, your man there, from what he was telling me, he did absolutely nothing wrong. He's a very pleasant, not in that way, not in that way. He's a very pleasant young man. Okay, so he would never ever put anything, nasty or anything like this. Now some my delicious babies will call me, well, I do not know what they'll call me, but if they wanted to call me a bitch, fair enough, call it now. But I am, there we are, questioning this. Okay, just like the Charlie popped the Kirk in a barn in the USA. So they cleared everything up. Okay, my delicious babies, so that there's no crime scene, there's no nothing. Okay. You can also listen to what's it called now? Fakeologist 3. So it's Fakeologist, all in little writing, my delicious babies, and a number 3 that it's all together, the word and the number together. The thing's up to 1.11,000 subscribers on YouTube, my delicious babies. I've advertised, and with anybody not in that way, not in that way. I've advertised him before, okay? So somebody must have been listening. There we are, because his numbers have gone up as well. But they show videos from BitChute, my delicious babies, okay? And where ones have said, something so-called, in America or Canada or something, okay, where something supposedly has happened, my delicious babies, and then others go and take a look just to find that nothing's happened. Do you see what I mean, my delicious babies? Okay, so while all of this was going on with Anne Whitaker, if she passed away naturally, she passed away naturally, okay, like anybody. I send my sincere condolences, okay? But the way that it's been put across, something smells rather fishy. There we are, my delicious babies, you know what I mean? And I'm going to stand by what I say. But with Fakeologist 3, he shows, and he usually has a guest, bless. But I enjoy listening to the videos, okay? But the fact of the matter is, he shows where, and you can just tell it's fake. So at the end of the day, my delicious baby, so if I'm a bitch for saying that things are fake, well, then call me a bitch. I'm not going to change my view. I'm certainly not, and that doesn't mean, yes, my delicious babies, I'm certainly not. Okay, it smells fishy, there we are, something's up. And while that's going on, then there's other things going on. But because we've got so many, there we are, distractions. Oh, yeah, and I know all about this, to do with this pox of doing digital ad and all this, okay? So, again, it's doing its rounds, my delicious babies. And yes, I will say all of this, and I feel nowhere for doing so. Because, at the end of the day, everybody's, they're going to be, not all of the alternative media, no. So my sincere apologies there to those who, there we are, who, like myself, we all think the same way, think the same way. But, and I'm not shouting at you, man, to the babies. It's just, it frustrates me, man. Do you know what I mean? There we are, it really frustrates me. So, they're laying off the digital ad. No, they're not. And for some other alternative media like our lovely Trending on Iconic, our lovely davidout.com, you know, I could say many others, there's our lovely Richard Willett, you know, double L double T on YouTube, Mardelistic Babies, okay? All their numbers are going up. Okay, Mardelistic Babies. So this is absolutely fandabidursy. And like I said, with anybody not in that way, not in that way. But we're all saying, do you see what I mean? And there are others who are also saying this. There we are, Mardelistic Babies. You know what I mean? You must not trust when they say that they're going to do whatever. It's usually, there we are, the opposite way around, Mardelistic Babies, what they're doing. Do you know what I mean? So what they're doing is, it's like giving somebody, hold on, Maze, hold on, baby, please. They're giving like a false sense of security. Come here, please, my little baby. They're giving like a false sense of security, Mardelistic Babies, you know what I mean? Mommy, get you something in a minute, baby. Go on, you just go down a minute. That's a good girl. Please and thank you. Sorry, Mads, little baby. See, little Maisie pops up, you know what I mean? It's not just that she's coming something to eat. She's had 2 lots. Okay, Mads, little babies, it's like she's saying, there we are, something, you know what I mean? Okay? Because I have little psychic babies. Anyway, Mads, little babies, so I wouldn't trust that either. So while everybody's talking about this now, then talking about that and talking about the next thing now, there we are. They're doing other things. And getting back to the Charlie Pop the Cork, well, yeah, they cleared up all of the crime scene, supposedly. Okay, when you seen him in his coffin, his hand looked like something out the Muppets. And that's not me, but like I just said, it's not me being a bitch. I'm just saying, and then there we are, then everything that followed. Okay? So at the end of the day, you've got to be careful. There we are, we've got to be very, very careful of what we're listening to, my delicious babies, you know what I mean? Because like I just repeat again, all is not as it seems. Okay? And of course, they will continuously throw things at us. You know what I mean? It's going boom, 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 so that you're not knowing whether you're in the park of the pictures, my delicious babies. This is what they're doing. There we are. This is what they're doing. Okay? So we've got to be very, I'm not going to say mindful, because that's, you know, they want our minds to be full. You know, we've got a brain, haven't we, Martish babies? You know, we've got a lot of a brain. Oh, the sun has got his hat on. Hip, 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 hooray. The sun's out now, Martish babies. The point is, Martish babies, is this. You know, they tell us like our mind's full. You know, well, we've got all of our brain, haven't we, Martish babies? Not just a tiny, tiny, measly part of it. You know what I mean, Mards, little babies, okay? So we can think for ourselves, we can use our noddles, and we can say to ourselves, no, 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 no. There we are, I'm questioning this. But of course, everything, there we are, and I'll repeat again, as I've said on other videos, is a damn distraction, okay, to other things that are going on, okay? We've still got these wars going on and all these kind of things now then, do you know what I mean? Yeah, little Maisie's agreeing. They're all distractions, my delicious babies, you know what I mean? But when you know, there we are, what you're looking for, you know how to dodge other things. Do you see what I mean, my delicious babies? There we are, okay, yes. So no, I do not believe in the Charlie Pop the Cork either. I tell you what, some of the stunts, there we are, that they're pulling, this is like, it's like beyond a jerk. But it still amazes myself, no disrespect, but it just amazes myself how many are still, there we are, believing this. Okay, my delicious babies. So we've got to always use, for those of us who are blessed to see and hear, we've always got to use our ears and use our eyes. Remember what I did yesterday evening on my video? I did it the opposite way around. Do you know what I mean, my delicious babies? So there's nothing now then that I said yesterday evening that I haven't said now. Okay, my delicious babies. And of course, I'm not going to be let's just say, well thought of or popular for this good. There we are, good. But I know what I know. I know what I'm saying, okay? And I'm sticking there, and I'm sticking by what I'm saying. Okay, my delicious babies, you just got to be really on the ball here. There we are, to what they're doing. Now then, my delicious babies, something else I was talking about yesterday evening is somebody with 6 fingers. Okay, well, of course, you know, we've got 4 fingers and 1 thumb, they say. Okay, mards little babies. If you look at your hand like this, mards little babies, okay, so when we look, it sort of arches there, like here and here. So in a way, it doesn't really look quite right anywhere, mards little babies, if you follow what I'm saying. So if you had a fifth finger, so 5 fingers and 1 thumb, that would look more in place because you'd have the other one there, which would, which would then match the thumb. I know what I'm saying, my little babies. So over time, we have had a lot of, there we are, bodily changes. Okay, mad little babies. I know that ones just think I'm mad. I'm not mad at all. There's nothing wrong with my noddle at all. But when you look at somebody with 5 fingers and 1 thumb, it looks more in line. That's what I'm saying, Martin. There we are. That's what I'm saying, Martin. Baby. So, sorry, excuse me. Somewhere in time, we have been, for the majority of us, missing a finger. It's like many, many, many years ago, Martin. Babies. Like usually, say if you wanted to do your fingerprint, yeah? Because that's what they do as well, mad little babies. They want the eyeballs out your head, they want your fingerprints, they want everything. Mad little babies. They've been doing this long time, for years. But for the majority of us, that just came into my noddle. For the majority of us, if you do that, okay, and say there's ink there, you're going to see your fingerprint, which is lots of little lines, mad little babies. But you've got the very few in the world, mad little babies, who do not have a fingerprint. So there is nothing there at all. So if they went blot like that, you wouldn't see nothing. It would just be plain. But for the majority of us, we have a fingerprint. Do you see what I mean, mad little babies? And that's what I was saying yesterday evening. Because I happened to be talking to somebody about ones who have, well, like I say, they say 6 fingers, but it's 5 fingers and 1 thumb. Okay, mad little babies. So I'm not going to say no more about that. And of course, I'm not going to volunteer any more information on it. So at the end of the day, no disrespect to any of our little beautifuls who are watching, okay? Others know who they are I'm talking to. Okay, mad little babies, okay? You just do not invite things now, you know what I mean? But you do find some cultures, mad little babies, where they do have 5 fingers and 1 thumb. They do. Okay, mad little babies, but I just feel it's more in line. That's the way I see it, mad little babies. And like I said, I know one's just say to themselves, oh, she's rambling on about now. No. I'm talking about the different changes that we are over the decades and decades and decades. Okay? So anybody who has 5 fingers and 1 thumb, they're usually exceptionally, there we are, strong as well. Plus they have more of a grip. So whether they're shaking your hand or whether they're lifting something, they have more of a grip. That's what I'm saying, mad little babies, you know what I mean? Well, I regard that as being special. But if we go back decades and decades ago, mad little babies, it probably was not so, special or rare. You know what I mean? Because there would have been many the same. They talk about the giants. The giants had 6, 5 fingers and 1 thumb. Okay, mad little babies. So it's important to look at all these things. They, sorry, excuse me, may not appear to be important, but there we are. But it is. Okay, mad little babies. That's all that I'm saying. So I've only got 2 pieces of information today, mad little babies. Now, anybody in our old England, because ones will know, I personally have not paid for a television licence. I do not have a poxy box in the corner of the room, and I haven't had one for years, my little babies. But anybody who has a television licence, this uploader here, I haven't advertised him forever. It was years ago when I advertised Chili John Carney now. I'm going to spell it for you, Mardelistic Babies. This is the uploader. Chilli, then a capital J, then literating ON, and then a capital CARNE. So it's 3 words together, Mardelistic Babies. Chili John Carney. Okay, Mardelistic Babies, now then. So this video should read, it's just over 12 minutes long, Mardelistic Babies, okay? And it should read, new TV licence enforcement notice. Okay, Mardelistic Babies, I've just ticked that off, just going over the dots. I'll repeat it again. New TV licence enforcement notice. Okay, Mardelistic Babies, so what is this about? What is this about? So we get back to it again now with Chili John Carney, bless him, not in that way, like I just said with anybody. He covers a lot to do with the television licence. Now, even for myself, when I go back years ago, you know, we all went through this stage. Well, for most of us, not all, okay? But for most of us, you know, you're just terrified. You just want to make sure that you just paid your licence and everything like this now then. But the fact of the matter is, Mardelistic Babies, this is a form of bullying. Okay, Mardelistic Babies, okay? What do others call them? Goons. You know, because they come to the door. They've done it to myself however many times now. Threatened, oh, we've got to go for someone to come into. I said, no. No one's stepping over my threshold. Nobody's coming through my door. No, they're not. I do not hold a licence, so why should I have to pay for a licence? Now, this took my nodder back, because this went on, was it a couple of decades ago? So anyway, one to remember this. You know that children in need, got to remember the Ren on the end. Okay, Mardelistic Babies, that's why I say little bands. Where they had the children in need, and they'd stop cars, they'd dress up like teddy bears, then they had the yellow buckets, and you know, they wouldn't let the cars past. There we are, and I remember this very well, and I was talking to somebody yesterday, they said, oh yeah, I remember that, Carly, you know what I mean? I said, yes, they wouldn't let you past until you dropped a bit of a ka-ching in the bucket. Okay, Mardelistic Babies, but over time and over years, the more and more they did it, was the more and more, there we are, a lot of drivers got, there we are, really peed off. I never needed to stumble there, Mardelistic Babies. They really got really totally wrapped off with this. And I remember myself. And I said, no. Now, for some, they say, what a wicked bitch. No. Charity, there we are, begin at home, isn't it? So who did I need to clothe and feed and water? Myself and my beautiful little daughters and my beautiful little babies. They, there we are, came first. You know what I mean? Not go on dropping too many charities now. And how much were they making with that children in need? That little bairns in need? How much was actually going to families, to help families? You have to ask yourself these questions, Mardelistic Babies. But going back to this, it's just, I was talking about this yesterday to do with that bairns in need. But anyway, but more and more started to see over time, thankfully. But getting back to the licence, yeah, it's just a form of bullying, Mardelistic Babies. And with Chili John Carney, he just explains now. Simple things. But as we very well know, if they cannot get you one way, they'll try and get you another. You know, so that's what they do about the YouTube, you know, or if you're watching the BBC or whatever, you know. I mean, if you go back to probably the late 50s and early 60s, then I would agree. You know, he hasn't said this. I'm talking about something else, Mardelistic Babies, where you used to get documentaries, like if you look at archives on YouTube, it is very good for that YouTube for that, okay? And you look at the archives, there was more truth then than there would ever be, I would say, after. You know what I mean? You get bits and pieces of truth, but it was just completely watered down, okay? And there's too much bullshit and too much of everything. So what they then do is get ones to come round to bully you. So if you do not want a licence, you do not want a licence. Simple thing. That's it. You shouldn't be forced, just like when you receive letters. But it took myself, my British babies, I said this many months ago on one of my videos, took myself years to psych myself up, to say, no, I'm not putting up with this no more. Because when they're sending you a letter, whether it's council tax, whatever it may be, water board, whatever it may be, my British babies, so they send it. Well, whose is that signature? And it's all photocopied. Well, who is it? We never contracted. None of us are contracted to any of it. We never contracted a TV licence. We never contracted the water board. We never contracted the council tax marriage babies. We never contracted none of this. Yet they've sent all these letters out for whatever o'clock for years and years and years, marriage babies. And of course, you know, by the time years later that you decide to question it, do you understand what I mean, okay? I mean, are we going to get our repayments back? Are we going to be repaid back? And then when they then say, oh, our councils are bankrupt and all of this now, how the effing hell can they be bankrupt when they're taking all this ka-ching change off everybody, man? It's a crock of effing shite. It's one big effing racket, man. There we are. It's one big effing racket, is what it is. Okay, man, space, especially with the poor, elderly or disabled, and what they do, they put ones in terrible fear. So for anybody out there, Madslichtic babies, if you're interested to do with the TV licence, this is the channel to go to, Madslichtic babies, okay? Because Chili John Carney explains everything, okay? But yeah, just do not be fearful. I do not put up with it. I've had them a number of times over my years. Same with the council tax. I just do not put up with it. That's it. But it took myself. I was more bothered when my bairns were younger. But of course, I'm on my own. Do you know what I mean? So at the end of the day, I feel nowhere. Just do not pay it. You know what I mean? My delicious babies. And, you know, others are say, but I have spoke to others, especially the elderly, and they said, oh, but if we do not pay, we're going to get into trouble. Do you see the fear? My delicious babies. This is what they've done. So they want everybody to pay the damn licence now to watch crap. There we are, to be fed crap and lying through their damn teeth. Do you know what I mean, my delicious babies? No. And this is where things now then, there we are, need to be turned, there we are, to be turned around. You know what I mean? So when they cannot get their own way, it's like, have you ever seen a little toddler? They cannot get their own way. They'll take the dummy out their mouth and they'll throw the dummy. You know, it's just in temper because they cannot get their own way. This is what these do. So they send their the little mafias round, you know, to go and bully everybody, my delicious little babies, you know what I mean? But he's absolutely correct. I never need to watch any video to know all this. The fact of the matter is they are just salesmen and saleswomen. That's what they are. But they're more forceful. So I would say they're worse than sales, in my view. Okay, my delicious babies. Now finally, I'm really pleased about this. She's only put up one video so far. I haven't mentioned her forever. And her numbers have gone up quick, you know. Bless her. She's got 8.14 thousand subscribers already, and that's just with one video that she's put up recently. This dear woman, the same as others who I advertise, anybody else who I advertise, for a lot of themselves, they are on Substack, Delicious Babies, and who's also on Substack, sorry, before I proceed in saying what I'm saying, is David space or dot A and then space Hughes. He's actually got a book out as well. So for Merce, they've got books out now, Delicious Babies, that you can buy. And yeah, and he talks about all of the in his books, to do with the pandemic and the COVID, and very sadly what followed. You know what I mean? Mad Delicious Babies, and he talks about that as well. So well worth a listen to David A. Hughes. If you do not have the Substack app, Mad Delicious Babies, it's the orange, okay? If you just type in, I usually go through quack quack, go Mad Delicious Babies, okay? I usually type it in and you know, well, anyway, I do not need to, but I'm just saying that is what I would usually do. But if you just type in Substack, it's just the two words together, it's all one word, app, space app, and then it'll take you to it. Okay, my delicious babies. There is so much information, a world of information on Substack, my delicious babies. Okay, there's some banging authors, some banging uh, what do they call them, who do videos and everything, uploaders. It's absolutely marvellous. And you've got our lovely as well, not in that way, not in that way, our lovely Vernon Cole, Dr. Vernon Cole. Okay, my delicious babies, because bless his dear little soul, he got flipping banged off everywhere as well, my delicious babies. But of course, he's been talking about things now for over 50 years. You know what I mean? That's 50 year. You know what I mean? My delicious babies. So, but bless him, he was very upset around that time um, to do with this business. Okay, my delicious babies, but anyway, putrid business. Um, but let me get back to the matter in hand. So yes, well worth a look. If you have a VPN, you can then get onto BitChute, 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 all one word, my delicious babies. You find a lot of the truth on there as well. Okay, my delicious babies. But of course, all these platforms, my delicious babies, there we are, have been under attack. Okay, they're all under attack. Okay, with the censorship, with everything. Okay, and it is difficult now because you do have the AI, so you do not know what's real and what's not real. You know what I mean, my delicious babies. So we're in a bit of a situation, but nevertheless, positive mental attitude at all times. There we are. We get our damn selves out of it. There we are. Do you know what I mean, my delicious babies? Because that is certainly not inciting anything. It's just from what I see and hear. It's certainly leading. There we are, down that road. Okay, my delicious babies. Only from what I see and hear. That's all. Okay. So this uploader is called All Spaces, capital U, Unlimited Space Hangout, capital H, and then space with capital W, space capital W again, Whitney, and then space capital W, web, double B, W E, sorry, double B, never needed to stumble there. So the uploader is called Unlimited Hangout with Whitney Webb. She is absolutely fantastic, bless her. There's a lot who are so fantastic, my delicious babies kind. She's brilliant. She tells you about all different things. She does an awful lot of research, my delicious babies. Well worth listening. So I'm not saying this to any of our dear alternative media because you already know Whitney Webb. I'm talking to our delicious babies who are unaware of Whitney Webb. Okay, my delicious babies. Another banging video. That's about an hour and 15 minutes, this video, okay? You do have capital S Simon, space capital D Dixon on YouTube, my delicious babies. I think he's up to 176,000 subscribers now. His video is very good. He breaks it down, but of course, what he also talks about is he said he skips past all of the distractions, my words, not his, but the drama of everything, you know what I mean? And he gets to there we are, the nitty gritty of what's going on. Okay, my delicious babies said there's so many to take a listen to, my delicious babies. We've got our lovely Not in That Way, Not in That Way, our lovely UK column. Okay. One of the latest videos of our lovely UK column was I enjoy listening to Mike, Charles, and Germ. I think it's usually on a Monday, Martish, but I really enjoy listening to their video. Not in that way with them, but All anybody who I advertise is who I enjoy. There we are listening to Mardlish Babies. That's just myself. I just do not want to listen to crap. And believe you me, there are millions of videos, there we are, which are full of crap. You know what I mean? Mardlish babies. And of course, for a lot of them, they're getting paid ching, 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 ching. You know, you play the game, come on down, the price is right. You know, there used to be one of those programs on that, didn't the Mardlish babies? But that's it. You know, they're the ones who get paid a lot of ka-ching change. You know what I mean? Just to feed everybody crap and shat. You know what I mean? Mardlish babies, I'm doing my best not to swear on this video. So, anyway, Mardlish babies. So, yeah, I just enjoy, you know, listening to all my little videos, Mardlish babies. And I get proper joy out of listening to them, okay? Plus the fact that we all get educated. Because we need that education, Mardlish babies. We're all still continuously learning. Life is a learning curve. And sometimes it had some twists and turns. You see what I mean, my delicious babies, okay? So that is really all that I have to say. But, you know, some banging videos, my delicious babies, okay? But please look into, um, they call it Six Fingers. Please look into that as well, my delicious babies, okay? This is all history that they have tried, there we are, desperately, it seems, to erase. But it appears to myself they're not doing a very good job. Okay, my delicious babies, okay? And of course, if we go back whatever o'clock, and not so very long ago, that's just came into my noddle, when they were burning books. Well, you burn books. Somebody's, you know, some bodies are going to write more books, aren't they, my delicious babies? You know what I mean? So it doesn't matter how you look at it. It appears to myself that the lid is completely off the flipping jam jar. Do you know what I mean? My delicious baby sky. And of course, they found it very difficult to put the lid on. You're not going to be able to. You're just not going to be able to, from what I'm seeing and hearing, no, and what I'm reading on DuckDuckGo, Quack Quack Go, no. But of course, they're even trying to hijack. DuckDuckGo said this long time back. You know what I mean? My delicious babies are trying to hijack DuckDuckGo as well. You know what I mean? My delicious babies, okay? Like, you could read something, find something, see something, and then you could write it down, go back a couple of hours later, and it says 404 not found. You see what I mean? So they're into everything, my delicious babies, you know, but I happen to really love DuckDuckGo, my delicious babies, you know what I mean? And there is one more. We got our lovely Alex, capital L, space, capital C, Cristoforo. Okay, my delicious babies is now up to 260,000 subscribers on YouTube, my delicious babies. Please and thank you. Take a look at our beautiful Alex Cristoforo's channel as well. Okay, my delicious babies. Please and thank you. Just a little bit of time out of anybody's day or night. Now then, I do need to make my jam today because I really enjoyed my foraging yesterday and managed to get a big, massive bag like that of black currants. In fact, I got the figure wrong. You know, when I said it was about a tenner's worth, and there was somebody else that said, and the rest. Because when you get the punnets, everybody knows, my delicious babies, you get these little plastic containers, you hardly get nothing. They're ever so stingy. You know, in these supermarkets, my delicious babies, they won't give you a lot, you know. And then they charge you about 2.50 or whatever it is. I got a massive bag like that. Okay, yes, it took me a bit of time to forage, you know, because you know, each one you're picking and everything, you know. Some you got to wait till they're ripened, but that's free off the land. That doesn't mean no, it's free off the land, which is what we should all have, my delicious babies. And just to let you know, just before I go, there's another beautiful, dear, sweet, he's so beautiful, little pussycat who's 19. He's gone missing. So I was out yesterday with my beautiful little Ruby Cheesy because my beautiful little Maisie Moo didn't want to go for a walk, or Auntie Carla's beautiful little Chin, she didn't want to go for a walk yesterday. So, well, they do round the block, but not, you know, where I was taking my beautiful little Rubes. Um, so I went out looking for him yesterday, my little babies. It's such a shame. He's so beautiful. And again, he never ventures off. So what is going on with this road, my little babies? Okay, I do not even think the other little lovely little pussycats come back yet either. There was another three that were taken as well. So what the hell is going on here? You know what I mean, my little babies? Anyway. But please, I hope and pray our beautiful little baby comes back, and the other little baby comes back. But you know, my beautiful little, he is my favourite. Okay, my little baby, okay, he's just so sweet and beautiful. So I don't know where he's gone, but to live till 19, that's a beautiful age, isn't it, my little babies? Anyway, so that's the end of my videos, my little babies. Yes. So lots of information that I give, usually on a daily basis, unless I'm in one of those moods where I cannot be bothered to put a video out my dishes. But when it's beautiful and sunshiny, I'm sort of like in one of these, ooh, do I really want to put one out? Because I do it as a hobby, my little babies, but I still have videos that others have probably not even looked at. Do you know what I mean, my little babies? So anyway, that's the end of my video today. So thank you so very much for any views, for any likes, for the occasional comments. How I love you so. Whether it's morning, afternoon, or evening, please have a super duper delicious time. You only get one life, my little honey bunnies. Sending peace, love, harmony, and bright blessings to each and every one of you. May your beautiful little selves and your beautiful little families all be fully protected, and how I love you so. Never needed to stumble there. Please take care of yourselves. Please try to take care of others, because we are in bonkers, crackers, and crazy world. But yes, if you can get out, my little babies, please do. Please go and forage, go and pick, the berries and everything. You only have to bring them back. I use a great big bowl, my little babies, and I just filled it up with hot water, salt, okay, sprinkle some salt, a good amount, and bicarbonate soda, my little babies, and let it just, swish it around with a spoon and just let it do its work. Let it cool off, drain it off. Then you can get a sieve, and then just under the cold tap and everything until it's all clean, and then transfer it into a saucepan. Or if you want to make a trifle, you can use the berries. If you want to make jam, which is what I'm making today, I'll show you my jar of jam, my delicious babies. I should be able to get quite a bit out of that. And of course, you can also, make fruit salad or something like that. Do you know what I mean? But it's free. This is my issue. Why should we have to pay? A burn a day keeps you not so friendly, quack quack away, you know what I mean? Mad and just about. Anyway, it's better out than in. Why should we have to pay for everything that we have when it's free off the land? And one dear older woman, bless her, as she was passing yesterday as I was foraging, because it's so therapeutic, and I'll say thank you to the beautiful bushes and everything for letting me take some fruit, And she said, well, you cannot get fresher than that. Absolutely, my delicious babies. And I picked it myself and I felt so good about myself, you know what I mean? Because it's free, you know what I mean? And we should have freedom. We should be able to go and pick anything. If you look at that I've been told, bless, from one of my beautiful dear little friends, bless her, in Jamaica, it's something like a mango, something, if it drops on the floor, you could just pick it up, take it home or whatever, peel it, wash it, peel it and eat it. Well, why can we not do that in our daily lives, my delicious babies? Why does everybody have to be fed, let's just say, that could have been in a bloody freezer for a year and then put out onto the shelves, my delicious babies? Well, why is that? And I'm going to get so much enjoyment now of making my jam. Yes, I am, my delicious babies, you know what I mean? Because I know that I've picked, I've cleaned, and I've made my own jam. You know what I mean? It's just such a good feeling inside, my delicious babies, you know what I mean? Okay? Somebody else I know, one of her lovely dear friends, she's making basketfuls of tomatoes. I've still got my celery growing. My spuds are up to about this now, my delicious babies, so they are growing, okay? And there's quite a lot, that are coming from the threads. So, this is fantastic stuff, you know what I mean? But I've turned my silver Birmingham City Council, Bromleyland, I've turned that you're supposed to give your cuttings back. I've turned that into a hanging basket with flowers. You know what I mean, Mads? Some find it rather amusing. They said, no, they said it looks really good, but you know what I mean? But, do things like this. Don't just be like a little robot. You know what I mean? Just go and putting things out. And now they put our bins to every other week. So today was this recycling poxy business. And then next week is our bins. So it means this week, we're not going to have our bins emptied. Doom, doom, dong, dong. Where's the common sense in that? We're in summer. The weather is warm. So what are bins going to do? Ding, ding, dong, dong, common sense. They're going to smell, aren't they? My delicious babies. Now, when I had a car, brum, brum wheels, I used to just double a bag up, open the windows, put a blanket down or a sheet, and just go down the recycling and just go and put it in general waste. But I cannot do that at the moment, my delicious little babies. But where's the common sense? So all of a sudden now, they want to start taking the cardboard away. Yes, my delicious little babies, you know what I mean? Yes, okay. They do always see and hear things, Okay, my delicious little babies. So no, I'm not playing their game. Why for months and months and months have they not collected any recycling? They stopped doing it. Or any cardboard, they stopped doing it. So you had to put everything into one bin. I'm not playing their game. So it all just goes into one bag. That's it. You know what I mean? So it just means I crush things up anyway, my delicious babies, so that they're a lot smaller. But, but the point is, no, I'm not playing the game. I'm not doing it. I've said that before. I've used the brown part, which the silver part that I've just made a basket out of. The brown part is where I'm growing my spuds. So I'm not playing their game at all, my delicious babies. And I'm certainly not going to go out, put all of our peelings in so that they can feed it then back to us. Where we've got to then, what? It's a circle, circle, circle. What? So we've got to go and buy it all over again. You see what I mean? They're taking us, I don't like this word, but we have to use it sometimes, my delicious babies. They're taking us for damn fools, isn't it? There we are. You see what I mean? They must think we're proper twats, man. You know what I mean, my delicious babies, anyway? So until my next video, thank you so very much for listening. How I love you all so, okay? It's just that please remember to question, there we are, everything. Okay, my delicious babies, then I truly feel, there we are, you're never going to go wrong. Okay? So until my next video, once again, how I love you so. Take care. I hope you get joy out the videos that I advertise, okay? Love you. Thank you. Goodbye.